But fasten your seatbelts, hold on tight. We're in for one crazy ride tonight on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show. Hashtag one on Facebook.
Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts, hold on tight. You're in for one incredibly awesome, super cool, and amazing ride tonight on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show, hashtag one on YouTube. Tonight we have with us race car driver Devon Tarr. Welcome to the show, Devon.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Devon, let's talk about your racing career. Where did it all begin for you?
I was just a little kid back. I don't know. It was back when my dad raced. I was probably 6, 7 years old, and I used to be that little kid out there flagging. And growing up, I always wanted to be a flagger. Because that's what I did growing up. And then I got into playing with toy cars. And growing up, my home track, Bradford, they had the kids class, and then new owners came in and they kind of dropped the kids class. And then back in 2016, the track owner that took the track over, Jeff Gardner, introduced the kids class and brought it back. And my parents asked me, well, Christmas was coming up. They're like, what do you want for Christmas? And I was like, a race car. My whole family's done it for generations. And I just, 2016 was the first year that I got into a race car.
Okay, so Devon, when you got into the race car for the first time, what was it like for you?
It was kind of weird, but at the same time, like, my adrenaline was rushing because it was something that I've always wanted to do, and I just never thought it was something that I would do. Because, like I said, they never had a kids class growing up. Like once I hit that certain age, they kind of like got rid of it up until the other track owner came in and brought the kids class into the track.
Okay, so Devon, with your racing career, did you have success right out of the gate, or did it take a little while to get there?
Not really. I mean, my first year I had, a couple good nights, couple bad nights, a couple top threes in the feature. My first year in the kids class, I finished fourth in points at Bradford. And then the second year, I didn't have as good luck. Just had a bad luck that year.
So Devon, what class are you racing now over at
I
the
raced
racetrack?
I raced in the mini stock class over at Bradford.
Okay, the mini stock class. Okay, very cool. So Devon, let's talk about your race car number now. What is the story behind your race car number?
My number's 88. It's been in the family for years. My dad, when he raced back when I was a little kid, his number was always 88. And I'm a big Dale Earnhardt Jr. fan, so I kind of like the number 88.
Okay. With your racing career, do you does it take a while for you to sit down and discuss paint scheme going into next year?
Not really. I mean, I kind of just like go with the flow. First car I ever had, I made it identical to my dad's car that I liked. It was a black car with chrome and green numbers. And that was one of his cars that I liked. So that was kind of my first paint scheme of the car that I had was black, chrome, and green.
Okay. So Devon, who do you have for sponsors on your race car?
Not really a lot. I mean, majority of it comes out of pocket, but there's a few people that I want to that help me out. Skinner Racing, Andrew Kramer, 10K Motorsports, Dylan Strait, 217 Racing, Kyle Van Tool, Tim Fisher, my mom, my brother, my grandma, my dad, Jesse, my grandfather, DJ Williams, Garrett, my cousin Jace, just anybody that helps out at the track, on or off the track, with advice, just anything in general that, helps out.
So Devon, when it comes to your racing career, is Bradford your home speedway then?
Yes, Bradford is about 25 minutes from my house.
How big is Bradford Speedway?
I think it's like 3/8. I'm not entirely sure right offhand, to be honest with you.
So, being you've raced at Bradford Speed, that's your home track. What is your favorite racetrack to race on?
Honestly, my favorite track to race on would be Woodhall. It's about an hour and a half away from us, and it's probably one of the smoothest tracks I've been on.
Okay. So, Devon, with your racing career now, do you have a racing nickname?
No, no, not really.
We got to get you one because I am the full throttle rock star here, Devon. So, so Devon, when it comes to your racing career, uh, what is the most success you've had in a race car? How much success have you had?
Um, I've never won in a race car, but I've won in a go-kart. It was actually, it's pretty exciting to win my first race. 2 years ago, I won my first feature in a go-kart. I used to race karts. I raced cars for a couple of years, and then I got into a pretty bad accident at Bradford, and I totaled the car, and I walked away from it for a year. My brother got into racing karts, and he kind of, talked me into getting into a kart. In my second year into a kart, I won a feature, and then I sold it because, it wasn't my thing anymore. I didn't like doing it. I'd rather. It's not that I didn't like doing it. I like going to the actual races. Well, then my brother got into a race car last year, so then I ended up getting back into one last year as well. Well, this year.
So, Devon, with your racing career, who helps work on your race car?
Me, my mom, like I said, me, my mom, my grandfather, my cousin Jace, my cousin DJ, Skinner Racing, Kramer Racing, Dylan Strade, Tim Fisher, Kyle Van Tool. Just, there's a lot of people that help out on and off the track with the cars.
So, Devon, what's your favorite job working on the race car?
I mean, there's a lot. I used to do auto mechanic and collision repair and BOSI, so I like sanding them down, painting them. That's probably one of my favorite things to do when it comes to the cars.
So, Devon, are you still looking for sponsors for your racing team?
Yeah. I'll be rebuilding a new car for next year.
Okay, so Devon, if there's going to be anybody out here watching this racing show with me and Devon Tarr, and you want to help him out with his racing career, feel free to reach out to Devon and his family because they would appreciate the sponsorship on Devon's race cars as he gets further into his racing career. So, Devon, what is the worst thing you've had happen to you as a race car driver?
Probably wrecking my car. That was a pretty scary accident.
When was that, Devon?
2017.
2017. Okay. And what happened in that wreck?
I ended up hitting the wall, and the metal part of the belt came down and popped my SC joint out of place.
Ooh. How long were you out of racing for?
The doctor said all summer, but I was only out for a week.
Okay. So, Devon, when it comes to you going to the racetrack, what helps get you mentally focused and psyched up to get behind the wheel of the race car?
I mean, there's a lot of things just going out there and, just racing and having fun, doing something that I enjoy. It's fun to know, like, I look forward to every Sunday going to the races and being able to race with all my friends and just enjoying time at the racetracks.
Okay. So, Devon, when you're at the racetrack, what's your favorite thing to eat at the racetrack?
What's my favorite what?
What's your favorite thing to eat at the racetrack?
Probably their cheese fries or cheeseburgers.
Very cool. That's something you and I share. That's pretty awesome. So, Devon, when you're away from the racetrack, what's your favorite place to eat at?
My favorite place to eat at away from the racetrack, probably our pizza lane that's close to us. They make some pretty good subs.
Okay. So, Devon, when you're at home, what's your favorite home cooked meal that your family makes for you?
I don't know. There's a lot.
Okay.
There's a lot of home cooked meals.
Okay. So, Devon, do you have anything out there you want to say to the kids to help get them in a race car?
I mean, if you set your mind to it, and you have a goal and you set your mind to it, you can do anything that you can accomplish.
So, okay, Devon. So, okay, what do you like to do away from the racetrack?
Just hang out with friends, work, go hunting, fish in the summertime.
Okay. Very cool. So, Devon, I'm gonna turn the mic over to you. You can ask me some questions now. How's that?
All right. Okay, so if you were in a race car and it was your first time in a race car and you were in the lineup shoot, how would you prepare yourself for that race?
I would sit there and tell the guys that's working on my cars, just give me like a few minutes to get myself mentally focused to do this because this is going to be interesting. And just try and breathe and try and relax and then try and hopefully to get focused to go out there.
You want to hear what mine was?
What was that?
All right, so the first time I ever traveled to a new track, never been there. I got in the lineup. I wasn't even in the lineup shoot yet, and I was pretty nervous. But I do this before every race. A lot of people say it's kind of, I wouldn't really say a lot of people say it's kind of dumb. I see a lot of people doing it all the time, but every time I get into a race car, no matter where, even in the go-karts, I did it. I get all, get my suit and everything on. I get my belts on. I get my helmet on, gloves, neck brace. And I say a prayer before I get on that track every Sunday, whether it's the
Very
heat,
awesome.
B main, or feature. I really
Very
try to do
awesome,
it.
Devon. Very awesome, Devon. So, do you have any more questions you want to ask me?
If you could drive any car, which car would it be? Dirt track wise. Like
I'd love to drive.
four-cylinder, late model,
I'd like to drive
sprint car.
I would like to drive four-cylinder. I'd love to drive sprint car. I'd love to drive stock car, modified, late model, whatever. I'm game for anything.
Fair enough.
Yeah, yeah. So, Devon, I want to thank you for being on the racing show with me today, talking to us about your racing career. Do you have one more question you want to ask me?
Not that I can think of offhand.
Okay, but thank you very much for being on the racing show with me today, Devon. I will call you in just a little bit to thank you in person. Definitely. Do you have anybody you want to send a special thank you out to before you take off?
Not really. All I'm going to say is that I'm hoping that 2023 is a better season.
Okay. Thank you very much, Devon Tarr. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Yep, I will let you step out. Gonna give a little racing news update, and then I will call you to thank you in person.
All right, not a problem.
Yes, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the number 88 driver from out there on the East Coast. He drives a pure stock, sorry, out there. So with that being that was Devon Tarr. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank Devon Tarr and his racing team for being on this racing show with me today, talking to us about his racing career. Little racing news update for you there. Let's get into that, and then we'll step out for a little bit, and we will be back here in just a little while. Let's see here. See if I have any racing news updates for you. I really don't. Everybody's getting ready to go out to Las Vegas for their big dirt race out there, the Duel in the Desert, they shall say. Good luck to all the IMCA modified drivers out there and IMCA drivers all together, I should say, out there. But also a little racing news update wise on some other things. Let's check a look in here, see if I have anything up here. The NASCAR series has announced their start times and TV info for next year. I will talk about that in the next episode of the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show, #1 on YouTube. So we will definitely get to that. Johnny Torres, Stephen Whittaker, and them guys are all out at Vegas. So good luck to them, along with the Murdies. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that is about all I got for you right now on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show, #1 on YouTube. I would like to thank everybody that's been a part of this racing show. And I'd like to thank my sponsors, Manning Motorsports and New England Hemophilia Association. But also, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to, if you guys would like to sponsor my racing show, feel free to email me at jjnolan151@gmail.com, or you can call and text me at 712-209-7138 if you want to sponsor the racing show, or if you want to be a part of the racing show and be on the racing show. But also, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to, with that being said, go hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification button on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show, #1 on YouTube. And then also go press like on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show, #1 on Facebook for all your racing news updates. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'll talk to you later on another episode of the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show, #1 on YouTube.